Join us at Denver Community Media every fall for Harvest Your Creativity, a month-long celebration where we offer free, hands-on media workshops and events designed to help you learn new skills, meet other creatives, and just hit record.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our workshop today. It's going to be Canva for Business. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of go through what it would take to kind of start from scratch in Canva and what that looks like. So we'll start with like kind of doing a tour of the interface, and then we'll kind of practice sort of like, okay, say I have this new business, like what does it look like making a logo? Um, and then we'll kind of like take that logo and design something sort of simple and like enter into like more of the interface and stuff like that. And then after that, we'll kind of apply what we learned into like a practical application. Like we'll do, maybe like a social post or something like for like maybe I don't know, like an event template or something. So let's start off with some slides. So here we go. So welcome again to Canva for Business. My name is Drew. If some of you don't know, I work at Denver Community Media. I teach some of the classes over here, and also just have like a kind of a weird obsession with these like types of programs like Canva, Descript, kind of like this like new wave of doing things. I kind of grew up in the like editing and shooting world. So I like started with like Photoshop and all that kind of complicated stuff. And when things like this come around, I am always like the first to jump on it. I know there's like these like purists out there that like are Photoshop till the day they die. But I just want to show you that there's, I'm sure you've heard of Canva by now, but just like an easier alternative to something like Photoshop or Illustrator. And just a quick note, we are going to be working off like the paid version of Canva. Canva, I think it's like $13.99 a month or something pretty simple. But I was talking to a member actually the other day, and we were talking about how much we love Canva and how much we use it. And I was like, that is just something that is just like worked into the budget at this point, because it's just so useful. I can use it in like so many different aspects. So, all right. So why use Canva for your business? And when I say business, I mean, this could also be like you are deciding to become a freelancer and you are starting, maybe it's just you. So just don't think of it like this only applies to like big businesses with employees and stuff like that. This could be a way to just come across more professional when you are booking clients or on Zoom calls, meeting with sort of like, like discovery meetings and stuff like that. Also, like, how you could like maybe you could use it for like building business cards or like maybe designing your kind of look and feel of your website or all kinds of different stuff. So why Canva for Business? I think the main thing for me is that it just saves time. It's like, I know Photoshop and Illustrator are great, but those are mostly used for like really in-depth, like, in-depth designs. I think like the majority of the time when I was using Photoshop or Illustrator, it was just for like these basic needs of like cutting out the background of a photo or designing an event flyer for my job or stuff like that. So another benefit to using Canva for Business is you can pick your logo and your colors, and then you can set up this thing called a brand kit. And then they make it really easier for you to keep your branding like consistent across all platforms. So say when you sort of get further deep into like your business or your freelance career, you can start building things like, say you were doing like classes or something like that, like online classes, and you can start building like lower thirds that look the same, websites that look the same, stuff like that. And another thing too is just you don't need like any experience. I'll try to like demystify this as much as I can. We're not going to go into like colors that pop or how to lay it out. I think that gets us a little too into the weeds. I just want to emphasize that there's like no design experience that you need in order to like make Canva useful for you. And I have down there at the bottom, like how many have you spent hours on a design before? I sure have. I remember like going through Photoshop. I was working for the like minor league hockey team that was in Broomfield briefly, I think back in like early 2000s. And I would have to like individually cut out like photos of like, hockey players and stuff to put on their for their like intro graphics and stuff. And it took forever. So I'm just showing you how Canva makes all this like very, very easy, things like that. So we'll hop over to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to explore the interface real quick. So let me see if I can share my screen. So we'll hop over here. Okay, so let's go through Canva. So this is, I'm working off like the app that you can download from the App Store. There's also like a web UI that is very similar. But just real quick, it's all, like I said, it's all very user-friendly. Here on the left-hand column, you have your projects. So you click on this guy and it will kind of like sort through all the things that you've been working on. I don't use this, but I mean, it's just because I'm not as organized as I probably should be. I kind of work off the homepage in recent designs. The good thing about a lot of these programs is that there's always like 1,000 ways to do it. So just figure out, there's not like one way to do it. Just figure out what works best for you. And then underneath is template, and then the brand kit. That's part of the paid version. And then there's also like this really cool community of developers that make apps that kind of link up with Canva. And if we have time, we'll get into those. So let's start with just creating a design. Let's say that we're building a logo for our business. So we kind of have two options. We can hit create design right here and just start from scratch. Or we can kind of go over to this little thing that says, what will you design today? So there's all these like options that it kind of like prompts you to look for. And we want to look for a logo. So up in the search bar, we can just type in logo. I think it was already up there. And then we'll just, right here is just, it will just give us like a 500 by 500 pixel design template to work from. So let's click that. So now it's going to give us a bunch of templates at 500 by 500 pixels that we can either click on and just kind of modify to our business, or we can start from scratch. I, just for the sake of showing you guys what Canva can do, quick and easy, I'm just going to pick one that I kind of like. I kind of like this balmy one. I like just a cool font. Yeah, let's click this one. Yeah, that seems good. Actually, now I'm gonna go picky. Yeah, let's try this one. I like this font. So I know it's for a flower shop. Let's call my daughter today was talking about, we have a squirrel in our backyard that likes to hang out and get really close to our back door, and she calls him Quirky, which is silly. So we'll just call it Quirky Squirrel. That's been the name of this business. So okay, so we have this this new template, and how are we going to modify it? So let's start by changing this. It's obviously, it's like a floral sort of graphic. So how do we change this? Let's start off by deleting it. No. Yeah, we can just delete it real quick, and then we'll kind of start from scratch in terms of like what graphic we're going to look for. So if you want to find something like we're looking for a squirrel, if you want to find anything that's appropriate to your brand, you can start in elements. So I'll click on elements, and then I'll just type in squirrel. Squirrel. Is it? Yeah, it's 2 R's. There we go. Squirrel. And then it will give you graphics, photos, and videos that all are related to squirrels. So we want to look for a graphic. And I think, I don't know, let's try something a little abstract, I think. Let's say, this is, I like this guy. Okay, so we want to select this one. So we'll click this, and you'll see it will show up on our graphic. So now we can just kind of like resize it. Let's see, can we change the colors of this guy? I don't think so. So what do we say? Quirky squirrel. So again, this is just sort of like working through how we would design something. Squirrel EL. Okay, you see it was like a little too big. So we'll kind of expand the text box a little and then click on it and move it up. So, okay, obviously this is very rough. Let's hide the squirrel for right now. So to hide it, we would click on it to select it and then click on these little ellipses. And then we could just go to, oh, I thought there was a hide in there. Anyway, starting off hot, guys. So we'll just delete it for now, and then we will modify this guy. So I think having all this sort of like left aligned is kind of the move here. So we'll click this, we'll kind of move it all over to the left, and then we want to put both those lines, kind of like squeeze them a little closer together. So in this little logo or this little icon right here, we can find the line spacing, and then I'll bring it up to like right about there. And I honestly kind of like just like the simplicity of this. I think the font is kind of like earthy, so I think it kind of implies squirrel a little bit. We'll just call this like Quirky Squirrel. I don't know, Productions, or let's call it Media. And this font is a little boring, so say I want to change font from a pre-made template, I would just click on the font I want to change, and you'll see that a little text box pops up right here. So to change the font, we just select the name of the font, and then we can go find something interesting. I think maybe big fan of Helvetica. Let's just try this basic one, this Montserrat. So it's a little different, and then we'll make it a little bigger to sort of increase the font size. We just go up to the font size number. You can just hit plus, and you'll see it get bigger. So just for the sake of this workshop, we won't get too deep into this, but you can see it's sort of pretty easy. You just kind of like click and drag, and you want to change something, you click on it, and then it gives you a bunch of characteristics you can change, like font size, type, if you want to underline it, put it on all caps, add some effects to it if you want. Like if you wanted to add a drop shadow, that would be in here. But I just like a plain sort of like 2D file. So I guess to add some squirrel in here, like let's do one of these like really basic kind of clip arty ones. And let's see what that looks like. You can just like put them on the end of the L or something. So if I select this, you'll see it will pop up right here. And then I want to match that outline to the color of the font. So we can click this. How would I do that? So I select the squirrel. And then I see that, again, all the characteristics are up here of what I could change. So there's a color that pops up. I see that the outline is black, so the color is black. So we click this, and here's something cool that happens is that it'll give you all the colors that are already in the document. So we obviously this is the same color as the font. So we'll just select this guy and it will be the same color. So now we can just kind of like down or shrink this up a little bit, and we'll just put it on the end of the L, kind of like right there. And that will just be our logo for now. It works, I think. So, so now what we want to do is we want to save this logo to include in the rest of our designs for today. So right up top, you'll see that here is the name of the template we used. So to rename this, you don't have to go to like File, Save, like kind of you had to do back in the day. You can just click this and just double click. Okay, we'll highlight the whole thing. So quirky squirrel logo. Okay. Cool. Now, what do we say? So we want it to have like no background. So we want it to just be like basically the font and then our little squirrel on the end of the L. So to do that, we would hit share, and then we can go to download. And then what we do now is we save it as a PNG file. That's this one right here. It'll give you a suggested right there as well. But be sure it's a PNG, and then we want it to have a transparent background. Let me hit download. So, and then we'll just save it to our desktop just for ease right now. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the quick and dirty how to just kind of like make a quick logo. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. If you go back to the design tab over here on the left-hand side, I'm sorry, go to the home screen over up here on the web application. It should say home up here. So click that guy. And so inside of this, there's like a bunch of there's like a bunch of AI stuff that's in here as well. Like there's like a logo maker inside of apps. You could just do it custom and kind of like add elements as you choose. Again, like I said earlier, there's like 100 ways to do this. So I would just suggest like hopping on Canva and just exploring and to see if it's right for you. But I think it's very simple and yeah, easy to use and like super. I don't know. I think you'll get a lot out of it, a lot of use. So let me go back to our slides. Okay. So we went through and we checked out the templates. We added some elements. We added some graphics. And then we added the squirrel, obviously at the end of the L. And now I want to like introduce you guys to the brand kit. So we'll hop back over to Canva, and we'll start our own brand kit for this quirky squirrel. I lost my mouse. Okay, there we go. So so over here on the left-hand side, we want to start our own brand kit for this new business we're doing. So click brand, and we'll see that we, under brand kit, we already have a brand kit for Denver Community Media. That's where we are. So we'll hit add new, and we will create a brand kit. We'll call it Quirky Squirrel, SQUR, 2 R's, 1 L. So Quirky Squirrel Media. Okay, so you'll see, like, again, everything is like very simple and drag and drop in Canva. So we want to add the logo that we just made. So let's click this guy. And our little PNG file is right here at the desktop. Quirky Squirrel logo, PNG, open. Okay, and we'll just really quickly load in there. So, and now it'll read the color of the logo we made. We made a very basic one, but we want to add some sort of like basic colors to it. I think we probably add a dark blue. Let's do something like this. You can also add a custom palette. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, worked great. I don't know where it went. All right, let's just go to these basic ones. Let's try. Let's try this one in the blue. So see that down here. Now, oh, I see what it did. Okay, so let's. I guess I kind of messed that up, but let's just go with it. So when I hit add a color palette, I did it twice and it just went right underneath. So we will delete these. Apologies for leading us astray, but we'll just call this good. So I think, can I, yeah. So let's just go with all these right here. And then let's actually add something like an orange or something to it. We wanted to add one extra in there. So we'll add this orange and we'll call that good. Okay, so now we have our colors and we have our logo. And now let's add some of our fonts. So you can add sort of like an exponential amount of fonts, but let's say we just wanted one that we were particularly fond of that we wanted to use that would complement our logo. So we can just select this and choose a font. And what it will do is it'll kind of take you back to this screen that we were looking at earlier when we were changing fonts. Oops, sorry, my mouse. So I like this League Spartan one. It's very clean and easy. So we'll click on that guy. And we'll just call that good for now. And let's add that we had Montserrat as well. So we'll put that in the subtitle. We'll add that. So now we have a sort of like rough brand kit that we can use for all our designs. Cool. So that is all set now. So let's go back to the home. And then let's create a design. Well, let's just see what this looks like. So we'll create a design and then we'll just go into something like social media. Just click this, one of these templates. Actually, let's go to Instagram story. Okay, so now say what we're starting, we're gonna start making a graphic for our Instagram story, very basic, but I just wanted to show you what the brand kit looks like inside of the design window. So over here, you'll see it's like design elements, text, and then brand. So if we click on this guy, you'll see that, since we had two brand kits, it by default selected DCMs. So we'll move over to Quirky Squirrel Media and hit select brand kit. Okay, so now it's all in there. So now we can just start like designing things quickly. Yeah, just like super quickly and easy using the brand kit. We don't have to go like searching for our colors. We don't have to go searching for our logo or searching for our fonts. Yeah, so let me actually, I kind of lost my place. So let's go back to the slides real quick. Yeah, I think we're right on. Cool. All right, well, I am going to change the slide. Okay. So using the brand kit, what we're going to do now is just create something, something I think that would be useful for, like we were talking about earlier, like say you're on a discovery call type thing with like a prospective client or just a job opportunity that you were using your small business for. I think it's nice instead of a kind of like boring background like this whiteboard or your room or something sort of a little bit more personal. I would suggest let's create a virtual background and dive further into the interface of Canva. And I can just show you how kind of easy this is. So I think first we will go into just the search bar and see what that will give us. So let's just type in like virtual background. So see what, oh wow, see it has 6,703 virtual backgrounds. So I really like this one right here. This is the very first one. So let's just select this guy. Cool, I think it's great. So let's see what it looks like to customize this one. So by default, you know, it'll have these fonts already in there. So we can just click on those and delete them. And then we can customize it to our own. So I think what we want to do now is then we want to add our logo in there. So we can go to Brand Kit and select logo. There we go. And then we can move this over to this corner. And then now okay, cool. Now I want to make a text box that maybe says my name and like my job title or my specialty or something like that. So I can just select fonts, and then I want to start off with, I don't know, there you go. And then it'll just automatically make a text box for you. So I'm going to type in my name. I really like this font when it is in all caps. But obviously you're more than welcome to do lowercase, but so what I do is I have it selected. Now I can just hit uppercase and it turns them all uppercase, and I can move this to this corner. And then underneath that, we had that other font. I don't know where it went though. All right, well, let's go to add text box, and we want to type in, we'll just put like Canva, that guy. And I think that font was Montserrat, so maybe it just didn't load. So we will go find it. It was be under recently used. Everything in Canva, it has a pretty good memory, so it'll give you a lot of like recently used, or if you use a certain font from like past graphics or something like that, it'll usually just like suggest them for you under this recommended fonts. You see, I use these 6 pretty frequently. So, okay, so we want to select this one, and then we can put it right under here. We can make it a little smaller, and there you go. So here's our sort of virtual background. Very quick and easy. And say we wanted to like add a bit more of our brand colors to it. If I select, we see we have these 2 little L bars over here. If I select these, I can go and select, what it will do is it will sort of like recognize that you have a graphic selected, and you can hit this shuffle thing. And what it will do is it will start cycling through your brand colors and give you different combinations of like what they think would look nice. A lot of ours are kind of the same, but let's just add that sort of like light green to it to add a little bit more pop of a color. Yeah, and we'll go from there. And also, let's say I just want to like have my name be that orange we selected. So I can select my name, and then I can just hit font, the text color of the font, the color of the font, hit that right there. And then I can just go to this, make that orange. So it's kind of cool, a little quirky. And then what I'll do is I'll just save it. We'll just put like quirky squirrel. Zoom background. Yeah, we'll save that and we'll share it. We can go to download. And then we don't necessarily need this as a PNG. JPEGs are a little smaller, easier, more like versatile. Say if you were to like work on like a PC or just like a different computer, I guess, or something that's a little older, I would just stick with the JPEG. And it's just going to be a full screen thing. So we don't need it to like not have a background or anything like that. Yeah. And then we can, I just put the quality to 100. Then we'll just hit download. And then I will make it my background really quick. See what that looks like. Desktop. Cool. So I just need to stop sharing shortly. So I will take this off, and then I will move this to my background. Oh. Thanks for bearing with me. And then move to desktop. Curve keys. There we go. Okay. Back to this. Okay. Has the blur on there, so we'll take that off. And there we go. There's our new virtual background. So, it looks nice and professional. Just kind of, some, I guess, a little example to show you how kind of easy Canva is to get started. We'll go back to sharing my screen. A little clunky, but there we go. Cool. All right, so what is next? So we went through just opening. We didn't do a blank template. We went through a pre-made one in like a 16:9 ratio. So that's like, that like widescreen. We added our brand colors and our logo. And since we did make it from a template, we didn't really have to add like icons or any sort of like patterns to it. We just kind of wanted to keep it simple and professional. Again, I'd welcome you to just like explore Canva and I don't know, just really kind of like poke around and see what works for you. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so now what we'll do is we will create a social poster, like an event poster using the brand kit. I just wanted to kind of go back through it sort of like similarly, like how we can make this all work using the brand kit. So let's like try a few options and see what kind of will work best for us. So we'll go back to, let me share my screen again. And actually, I also want to kind of like open it up to the chat as well. So I will add that to our hand pink. Oh, nice. I'll add that to the background as well. Okay. So, and if nobody has any questions, like as of now, we can close the chat for a little bit, but we'll just open that up. Okay. So we want to start with something like brand new. So let's see what it looks like just to make something like a kind of easy flyer. Or Lena, what do you think? Social media post or a flyer?
Social media post?
Okay, cool. So we will do a social media post from scratch. We'll go to create a design. And then you can, if you click on Instagram story, it'll just, it'll give you the dimensions. We want to do a Facebook post. You'll see how like the dimensions populate underneath as we go along. So let's do a Facebook post. So we'll click that. And then now it gives us that 946 by 748, I think, canvas to build from. So I am actually going to hop back over here. I'm going to close this guy so you guys get a full screen view. There we go. Okay, so we want to create, let's call it like, say, our open house or something for our quirky squirrel media. So what we'll do is we will just create maybe a color for the background. So we just select the canvas and hit, and just like we did earlier, you see, like, once you select it, all everything that you can sort of like manipulate will pop up in this little toolbar head above. So click that guy. All our colors for our brand are right here. So let's try this, like this kind of like aqua kind of color. I think that's good. And then we'll add our logo as well to it, just as a good base. So we'll go here, we'll go back to brand, into logos, put this off in the corner, and then say, so now we want to start like adding elements. And I'm not like completely married to this logo being in the corner, but since we're just starting design, I like to get all the elements like on the canvas, and then we can kind of manipulate them after the fact. So now what we want to do is we want to create some text, and we'll just call this like open house. And then I'm going to change the color. Let's have it be, oops, sorry. Just have your font all the way selected, and then we'll hit this color that we want to change it to, and we'll make this bigger. You can, like we were doing earlier, you can just kind of, you can increase the font size this way, or you can like manually type it in, or you can just grab one of these like anchor points at the end and just make it as big as you'd like. So we'll do that open house, and then we can also, so now I think we could start adding some like fun, like design elements to it. Just now we got kind of like an idea of what the text will look like. I think we'll probably put our address under here, and maybe a map, or, you know, something kind of fun. So let's do, go to elements, and inside elements. So how to sort of like explore the elements side is just like, I mean, the library that Canva has is so extensive. I would just like, if you have an idea of something that might be in here, it probably is. So let's maybe add like, with like a, I don't know, what should be like a, maybe like a, I'm trying to think, maybe like a nut, squirrelish. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. It's a little too on the nose for me. So let's do like something like maybe more media friendly. Media. Okay, and then in graphics, it'll give you a bunch of vector graphics that would be hopefully pretty useful. It seems like it's all like a little broad and a little cheesy, but since this is an announcement, you know, for the open house, there is this like kind of megaphone right here, and maybe we could use that. So you just select this, it'll pop up. I think the like delay is, there we go. It's pretty cool. So since it's an announcement, we will maybe put this graphic in there, and so like we're I don't know, we're having a party, and then put like the kind of like RSVP date, and then maybe the address, and see what that looks like. So we want to change this. We don't want it to be black. We want it to be kind of similar to our brand colors. But let's worry about that later. So let's just get all the elements out there, and then let's use the brand kit to kind of like cycle through all the colors and see what that would look like. So next we will go into text, and we will call this, we'll just call this like 2101 Arapahoe. Oop. And then, so that's our address in Denver Community Media. We'll change it to this font. And we'll shrink it down a little bit. And then we'll move it over, like right here. I don't like when it's like double spaced. So to kind of mess with the spacing of the text box, we'll click on this little spacing icon again, and we can kind of manipulate it here. That seems pretty good. And then we'll put, and another thing too is like you'll see that there are a lot of like really fun sort of like font combinations over here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a part of your brand kit. If you're doing something like, say, an announcement, you just want it to be eye-catching. So this newly added looks nice. So I could add this to it. Gosh, I don't know why. Okay, there we go. We can add there. We could put in something like we're having a party. We are having a party. Now, I want to shrink that down a little. Kind of just place it right here. And then I want to like rotate it maybe the other way, maybe a little more even. We can move this back, shrink this a little. Yeah. Sure, something like that. Then we'll put the date under here. Since I know that this is probably going to be the same font, I don't have to like make a text box, figure out the font, and kind of like duplicate efforts. If you just right click on your text box, this little thing will pop up, and then you can just go to duplicate, or you can hit the Command D shortcut, and it'll just duplicate another box. And you'll see as soon as I click this, it'll just put one right over it. So I'm gonna bring that down and then like add our phone number. Let's just call it 720-333-3333. Cool. Okay, so let's actually shrink this down a little more, and then maybe add some, I don't know, party stuff or like kind of like accents to like make it not as boring. And then we can keep manipulating afterwards. So let's go back to elements, and then I think we can just type in accents. Accents, there we go. And it will give you all these kind of like weird little icons that you can just like sort of like embellishments that you can add to make it a little more interesting looking. Let's see what'll work. This is kind of cool. We could put this like maybe off in the corner, maybe over here. So you'll see that this is just basically, it can only fit on the left side, right? That looks kind of interesting. But if we want to like make it have that rounded edge on like the other side, you can just hit this little flip button and it'll just flip it for you horizontally or vertically. So let's put this maybe behind this text. You see how it's over it right now? So we can just right click on it and go to layer and then go to send to back. So now should be, oh, it didn't send it back. Okay. I think I have the wrong thing selected. All right, is it behind it? I can't tell. Anyway, so there's that. It's kind of a weird design, but it's all good. Okay. I feel like I'm losing everybody, but okay. So now let's say we have this rough sort of, I don't know, cobbled together open house thing, but let's see how it looks to get us give us some more inspiration with all our like design colors. So we can go over to brand now, and then we can hit this in our colors. We can hit shuffle, and you'll see how it's kind of like cycling through combinations of our brand colors. This is also really good for using templates. you can just basically select something that's already made and then just add your colors to it. And we'll go through that right after I get done struggling. Okay, so now I think this one looks pretty good. So now we will just kind of like make this a little bigger and we'll move it off to the side. Oh, it is behind everything. Okay, cool. That looks pretty good. And I think actually I want to, I'm going to actually duplicate this and then move this over to the other side as well. Maybe we'll, looks kind of weird, but that's fine. So we will now move this to the back as well. And yeah, sure, I'm going to go with it. So that's kind of like a basic way to we used some sort of kind of like pre-made font combinations. We used our brand kit font. We added an element to it in the megaphone, and then we also added our logo, and those all had our brand colors in it. Okay, now let's just really quickly jump over to like what a pre-made template looks like. So I wonder if we click the home button, and then we go into this search for content. I wonder if we type in open house flyers. There we go. And you'll see like they're all like obviously for like realtors, but let's see if there's something that we can just kind of like make our own. And then like Lena suggested, we want this to be for social media. So let's, we can use the magic resize tool to make it applicable to us. This one seems pretty, pretty basic. So let's click, yeah, let's see what else there is really quick. No, I think this is great. Kind of old school. So we'll click this and we will customize this template. So now before we were even started, since it is a flyer, Canva will default to like, if you wanted like printed, and basically what you can do is like design your thing and then have them print it for you and they'll mail it to you. So let's close out of this since that's not what we're going to do today. And let's just see what this looks like with our brand colors. So again, go to brand and then in colors, we can just shuffle these. Pretty cool. There we go. So, and then in here, we can move it back over to our font, League Spartan, and then we can change this to Montserrat. So you see, like, we can kind of go through and make it our own pretty quick. There. We'll kind of go through one by one. You kind of get the picture. And then this part we can just delete this one. And yeah, here's some more accents that they obviously got from the element folder, but say this is good enough and we just needed something to like maybe put on our bulletin board, like in the main lobby or something like that. And this will do the trick. So again, Canva's really useful for like turning things around pretty quickly if you're sort of in a pinch. What else was I going to say? Let me see. Oh yeah, we wanted to resize this, let's say. Like this is obviously like an 8x11 that isn't what our application's for. We want to put it on Facebook. So yes, this is good for printing off and putting in the main lobby, but per Lena's instructions, we want to do it for Facebook. So really cool new version, or really cool like new updates from Canva is that they're kind of leaning heavy into the AI stuff. So they call it magic. So we'll hit this magic resize tool and we want it for Facebook, right? So we'll click social media and then we'll find Facebook post right here. And we'll hit copy and resize. So it'll take a little bit and then everything will be like a little askew, but we just can like resize it. So there you go. I mean, it's not like perfect, but the only thing that's a little weird is the centering of this and these elements over here. So what we can do is we can drag this to the center And then we'll drag this to the center. You'll see it will help us align it. And we can make this larger. Over, and you can also like expand this as well if you wanted to expand the font. So you can kind of like go through and sort of like resize things as you see fit. You don't have to like copy and paste like every little element to make it, sizable for Facebook. Or if say we wanted a different version of this, we can go back to brand and we can kind of do these a little more. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let's, we could also expand this box if we wanted to. Say we wanted to like add more text in the corner that's like applicable to Facebook, we could do that. Yeah, I mean, I think that is a good example of like the resizing tool. And then another thing for this too is like, say you were comfortable with the design, but you needed to fire off like multiple versions of it, like one for Instagram story, one for Facebook, just like a landscape version. You can do this fairly quickly and just like export them as you go. Yeah. So let's go back to the slides. And then, so now we will go through some of Canva's, like we just talked about the AI features. So we'll go through, we just did resize, but we'll see what the background remover looks like. And then we'll go to like the text to image thing, which I think is pretty cool, but I think a lot of people have seen it. Canva leverages like DALL-E, which is like the chat GPT sort of like version of text to image creation. So we'll go through that and see what it looks like. It's never like perfect, but maybe I just ask it really obscure stuff and it never works, but or works as good. It works great, but so let's start with the background remover. Okay, let's see if so we'll start anew and we'll just do, we can just start like a kind of like a custom size template, just so you can kind of see. We'll do 1920 by 1080, just so you can see what cutting out the background looks like. So I guess we could find a photo. Obviously you can take one on your phone and like upload it to this. I have some that are already like baked into my, on my hard drive, or there's also photos in here that you could use in this little photos tab. It's all these like, I think they use Pexels for their photo library. So let's check in uploads what we have. How about this one? This picture is of my mom and my daughter. Okay. So great picture, but we want to use this for like a design, or we just need the background cut out. And like I said before, like I think in Photoshop, I used to have to like go through and get with a little cut tool and like cut all the way around everything and just make sure everything was smooth. So with Canva's new AI features, and again, this is just in the paid version, but we just upload one of our photos onto here that needs the background removed. We have it selected. And again, like before, like any element that you want to manipulate, you just select it and you'll know that it's selected by these like little sort of wireframes around it that are purple and have these little like white little anchor points around them. You'll know that that's when it's selected. Another indication of that is like this top toolbar will pop up, and we'll see that as soon as I added a photo, it already knew. It says like background remover. So that is what I want, but just so you know where it is, I'm going to show you. So if background remover for some reason wasn't there, which it should be, you could just hit edit. And then background remover is also over here. It opens up the Magic Studio and so it'll give you all the options right here. So we'll hit BG remover, and then you click on it and it'll just automatically know where the subject is and then know where the foreground is, and then we'll remove the foreground. So there you go. So now we have an image with the background removed. Fairly easy. So, okay, so within this, we want to, can I add a text to image thing as the background? That would be cool. So we want to make a fun background for them and see what that looks like. So I have the background selected, again, indicated by like the purple wireframe around the background. So where would I click? Let's, there is a little fun icon here at the lower left-hand corner that says quick actions. And it also has this sort of like universal, like magic thing that Canva uses as the icon. So let's see what that does. We'll click that. And that is, can I type in text to image? There we go. Boom. Okay, never mind. Never forget I said anything. I thought it was right here. All right, so let's click onto that. I wonder how would you do that? Let's discover together. Does anybody know watching? No. Just where you, like, if I wanted to add another image, could I do it with the text too? Oh, there we go. In Elements, and then in all the way at the bottom, it says AI image generator. So hit generate your own, and we want to give them a background. What do you think, Lena?
I'm gonna say a beach.
Okay, on a beach in. I'll just put on a sunny beach. Let's put that sunny beach. I guess that's something. Okay, yeah, in Puerto Rico. See what it comes up with. There we go. Okay, so now we typed in what we wanted. It will give you like some extra AI features. It will say like, it will kind of like read what the image is. Like say if you were in a wedding dress and you clicked inspire me, I'd assume it would give you like a wedding venue. But since we knew what we wanted on the sunny beach in Puerto Rico, let's see what it comes up with. And we want it to be landscape because that is the size of our canvas. So we'll click landscape and then hit generate image. So we'll wait for a little as it sort of thinks and comes. It will come up with 4 different versions, and then you can just cycle through those. Okay, cool. Sure, let's do this one. There you go. That's what it gave us. Just seems like a regular old photo, but so let's do something kind of weird. See what that looks like. So we'll clear this and we will add like apocalypse. No, how about like year 3021 in Denver, Colorado. Just say birds everywhere. I don't know. Okay, yeah, there you go. Year 3021 in Denver, Colorado, giant octopus. Octopus. That was Lena's suggestion. Here we go. Generate again. Yeah, there's also like there's a lot of AI features in here that aren't as silly as this, but I guess we're sort of using it silly, but you can definitely come up with some like I don't know, kind of cooler applications for this, or more useful, I guess. But this is cool. So let's I like this one. One's kind of, there you go. I'll show you guys. Let's try it. I like this one. You know, there we go as the background. Yeah, I guess it kind of does. Yeah, it does. I think so. I have no idea where. So you'll see like we got the background in there, but like where are my mom and daughter? So if we right click on this and we can send this to the back, cool. So now we have like a giant octopus in this random place that doesn't exist in Denver. And then, but you know, it's kind of confusing. So we probably want to blur the background. So since we already have the background selected, we can go to edit and then we can hit this. That gives you all these tools down here. We'll hit blur and then we can hit whole image and we can make it kind of a little like that. And we can just exit out of it and there you go. Cool. All right, well, that is, you know, some new AI features inside of Canva, but I did want to show you one more, is that we'll go actually back to this. We'll go back to the home and we'll create a new, we'll call it social media. And then we'll just, I don't know, we'll just call this an Instagram story picture. So say I wanted to like post this, say this wasn't of my mom and daughter and it was of our like CEO or something. But they had, let me see if I can find a better picture. Yeah, something like, let's try one of our photos from our ad campaign. So say we wanted this guy. Let's zoom it in and we'll just kind of bring it over, kind of crop it. You know, it's like, okay, I had this like kind of like widescreen sort of like landscape picture, but I need it to be like the size of my canvas. So how could I fix that? Could I fix that using AI? I think I can. So I hit this guy and then I think in edit, now I can go to this thing called, I think it's called Magic Expand. So hit this thing and then we can just, it'll basically give you like a wireframe of the image. And then it will say like, okay, what do you want to expand? We want to expand it to like 9:16 because that's what we, what our canvas is. So we select that and hit Magic Expand. Then we'll see what it does to like fill in the gaps. So there's like, again, it's like kind of, I don't know, again, like preventing the sort of like need for Photoshop, but Photoshop obviously is still very useful. But if you needed to do things like this sort of on the fly, I think it's pretty useful. So you'll see as it sort of loads, it already has given us like a full screen version of, you know, it looks way better than it did all cropped, you know, but we wanted to like, I don't know, like say we wanted to add something or like make it look like they're outdoors or what we could do. How about this? How about we wanted to get rid of those sandbags at the bottom of this tripod? How would we do that? So again, you can start like layering on the AI features, which I think is really nice and very quick and intuitive. So we'll select the image that we just expanded using AI and we'll hit edit again. And then let's hit this like magic eraser and see what it does. So click this guy and then we can just brush over these pesky sandbags. And then what it will do is it'll highlight them, or we can also clear this. And then if you hit this click, it will give you like this. See right here, as I just hover over it, it kind of recognizes that it's something that we want to remove. So we'll click that and then hit erase and see what it does. Maybe we'll get rid of them. Boom, all gone. I mean, they're kind of still there, but you can kind of fine tune it. You could shrink this, move back over to brush and kind of like go through it. We can erase those that way. And I'll show you one more thing. I know we're kind of like running a little over on time, but I think there's a lot to discuss. Okay, cool. No, sandbags are all the way gone. Let's add one more thing. Say we wanted to add a something in the background. I'm trying to think of like what it would be. So let's select the picture again. We'll hit edit one more time. And we'll go to this thing called Magic Edit. So what we can do now is we can edit out one of the things. Let's say the iPad that John is holding, we want to turn it from an iPad into like a script or something. Let's see what that looks like. So select Magic Edit. And then now what we can do is we can go in and we can just, let's try using this click thing once more. And then we can just select just the tablet. And then we can say, like, let's say clipboard. Yeah, clipboard. So instead of an iPad, we want to move it to a clipboard. We selected it using this click feature, and then we typed in clipboard, and then we want to hit generate. So we'll see what that looks like. And then wait for it. It says background remover may be a better option. Maybe it was too small. But yeah, so it does look a little clunky, but still looks like an iPad. But we're just going to go with it. Maybe nobody will notice. So yeah, like this is really good for, say you have, I don't know, say like you did take like a promotional photo for your business that it has a brand in there that is competing with the brand you're working for or something like that. You can quickly erase things like that, swap out elements of the photo and stuff like that. I think would be like really useful for you. Okay, so we will go back to the slides. And I think, let me try one more. Okay, sorry. Computer got a little tired, but we'll take a coffee break while it switches over. Okay, yeah. So what we've covered thus far in this Canva workshop, again, this will be available for you guys to rewatch here like later on today, and it'll just be up on our social channels. So anyway, what we've covered is how to create a virtual background, just using not only the brand kit, but the templates that Canva has available for you. How to design a social post. We kind of did an event poster, but I think you kind of get the picture of like how Canva works and sort of like without using the brand kit. So you can definitely apply that knowledge to the social post. And then we kind of dove into the AI tools to kind of like enhance the design or quickly edit some stuff. Yeah, and I will put that in, and then we will move over to what, see if anybody has any questions at all. Anything pops up, I can check those out really quick. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could also, I mean, I kind of went through a lot of the AI stuff, but I also was thinking I could show you guys some of the apps as well. So just really quick, I will move back over to Canva, and then we'll get out of this. So like I was saying, it's like Canva has like a bunch of like a really kind of devoted network, I think, of developers that are starting to like make these really cool, like intuitive apps that also utilize AI. And those are available in like that left-hand column. So we just right under brand where it says apps, you'll get all these awesome, really kind of specific apps that I think, you know, when used properly, I think could be a great tool for you. One of the things in here, I guess, just on a very basic level is, you know, how to like batch create content. Like say you had like a list of clients or something like that with, not clients, let's say like employees. with like all their information, and you needed to create some sort of like, I don't know, slide deck or sort of graphic with a new one for everybody, you can kind of like link that up with an Excel spreadsheet and make things pretty quickly. Add cool effects. The other one in here that another, you know, and then they have a lot of things in here that like that kind of like remaster old photos. We made a logo earlier today, but I just wanted to show you like one of these apps that are AI powered is called Logo Maker. So let's click that and see what it looks like. So let's put it use in new design. And then we just wanted to do, I think I can just type in logo. So then the app is already like baked into this left-hand column. So we said describe the logo you want, and what do you call it? Quirky squirrel media. Quirky. So let's just see a quirky squirrel media. I guess we'll say like fun and light. I don't know. So anyway, this is. Again, it's just, if this is like a cool way to utilize like some of the apps and the AI features built inside Canva, so you can sort of like use their tools to kind of like leverage back some, you know, some of your time and not like go through this like painstaking design and you know, Illustrator and Photoshop work, and just see what they come up with, and then you can adjust it after the fact. So we typed in inside of the app Logo Maker. We open that up inside a logo canvas, which is 500 by 500 pixels. And then this Logo Maker sort of area popped up on the left-hand side. And we typed in quirky squirrel media, fun and light, and now we'll hit create and see what it does. Yeah. Dude, I wish I had some like music queued up that I could, every time we're waiting for AI to work. But slowly but surely. Okay, let's see what it came up with. I'm so excited. Sometimes they're like oddly great. It's like, wow, this would have taken like a marketing agency. It's got to cost a bunch of money, but let's see what it looks like. Wait for it. Okay. It's really thinking. Yeah. This is what they call dead air in the biz, you know?
Yeah, that's usually the time where people leave the chat.
Yeah. But you guys aren't leaving. You guys are devoted, you know? You guys are here now. Oh, no. Oh, it says, oh, it gave us this. It says, sorry, the app is down at this time. Please try again later. Oh, no. All right, well, anyway, thanks for nothing, Logo Maker. But let's go back to here. Anyway, back to the apps. Yeah, there's a ton of things in here that I would highly suggest exploring. These like a lot of cool like text stuff, a lot of like voiceover stuff with AI, kind of like 11 Labs does. And you also can like bake this into like planners like Trello and Monday and stuff like that. So if you really wanted to like integrate this into your whole workflow of your new business, hopefully, I don't know, I think it can be very useful. And there's a lot more I think tools inside of Canva that are specifically for businesses. Also, say you're like sending proofs to a client, you can have them be read only, like they won't be able to edit them. If you had like another person working for you, or you were working with a graphic designer, like they can't publish it unless it gets approved by you and things like that. So a lot of cool features, a lot of cool ways to like organize stuff that we didn't get into today. I just kind of wanted to show you like I don't know, the sort of like what's possible, I guess. But they have the organization side covered and kind of like how to manage a team side like really covered. So yeah, highly recommend. And then we will, yeah. So is anybody any questions at all? I think we answered a lot of them. We'll go back to the slides. And all right, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you on the other side. I did add some music. Look at that, dude. I'm like a Restream pro now. All right, y'all. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking by all hour and 16 minutes. And we'll see you at DC.